The moon is actually going to look red. It's what they call a blood moon. It's going to be a very interesting moon. It has there are a lot of correlations and a lot of angles that are getting played out with this moon and with this Uranus direct. I wrote extensively about it on my newsletter, which I sent out in the wee hours of the morning. If you're interested in my newsletter, you can go to my website, robertphoenix.com, and subscribe to it. It's a scant $3.99 per month. But I get into things that I don't get into on the website. It's exclusive content, and I looked in the last newsletter primarily at what's happening with Russia, with Syria, with North Africa, and how it relates astrologically to what's going on. So what was interesting is that in the chart for Russia has two charts. There's the Bolshevik Revolution chart, which is drawn from, I believe it's November 5th, 1917, or November 17th, 1917. That's it. And then the other chart is 12/25, 1991, when the new Russia is born. Two very distinct charts, although astrologically it would be like having a natal chart and a progress chart in some ways. So I looked at aspects for both of those charts. Pretty fascinating. The new version of Russia, based on its astrological chart, is going to be around for a long time. It is not going anywhere. Russia, as we know it will exist, and it will be tenacious. It's got 5 planets in Capricorn, and right now Pluto's moving across all those planets in Capricorn, so it's transforming itself. And whenever you go into a Pluto conjunction with any planet, there is an element of darkness that's involved, and a lot of projection that takes place. Fascinating chart with Russia. As it stands now, based on the 12/25 birth date of 1991, Russia is in opposition to the United States with all the Cancerian planets that the United States has. And some of them oppose and some of them don't oppose, but there's enough opposition where it feels very bipolar. And in fact, Russia occupies the 5th house of its chart, and the United States occupies the 11th house of its chart, the house of friendship. So there's a split. So they're connected, because you can't really exist without the opposition in some way. You define yourself against the opposition, but there is an opposition nonetheless. Anyway, a lot of that activity starts tomorrow, and I'm a little concerned about California and the Ring of Fire, because this is where the eclipse is happening. It's taking place pretty much in California, in Asia, in Australia. The eclipse will be visible. And we just put up an interview with Rob Tillett, which took place, was it last year? It was early in the year. I think it was the last big solar eclipse, which might have been, was that June? Anyway, that interview was a little muddy on the audio side, but we punched it up. You can go to YouTube now, go to my YouTube channel, and you can actually listen to my interview with Rob. Thank you, Erica, for doing that. And you can hear what he has to say about eclipses. And one of the things that he mentions is that eclipses, that the areas where the eclipse actually crosses and is visible, those are the areas that are most affected by the eclipse. And again, the aforementioned area that I spoke of here, California, Washington, Oregon, parts of Mexico, and into Japan and Australia. So keep your eye on those areas, especially for the next 48 hours. And the energy with eclipses, there's a lag time sometimes. So there are at least 2 to 3 days after the eclipse, you can still feel the intensity of the eclipse energy. Also, there is a major T-square happening on the 13th of December with the moon in Cancer, Uranus in Aries, and Pluto in Capricorn. Somebody just called in, 951 area code. Let's find out who they are, if they have anything that they'd like to share with us today. I got a quick finger today, so be nice. All right, here we go. Hi, you're on the air with Robert. Hello.
Hi, Robert. This is Teresa from Southern Cal. Just wanted to call real quick.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just listened to George. It was a wonderful, wonderful time with him. I'm fascinated by. I hear an echo. Do you hear an echo?
Let me just turn this down a little bit.
Okay.
Try it now.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah. I just kind of, oh gosh, for lack of a better word, freaked out when he was talking about stars. I think he mentioned, you look out and you see a star that's flashing red, blue, green, kind of.
Yeah, I've seen.
Remember that?
Yeah, I've seen.
I just saw for the very first time last night.
Yeah.
Or I've never noticed before. I was just looking out my window last night, and to the south, I guess southeast. I live in Southern Cal, and it looked like it was right over. I swear, towards March Air Force Base. Uh-huh. And I looked up and I saw this huge star, and I'm thinking that's got to be a plane. But I looked for a long time, it wasn't moving, and I thought, well, maybe it's a satellite, but it looked more like a star. It was up, it wasn't low, and I saw the lights flashing, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. But I didn't want to jump to conclusion and think, okay, maybe that's some kind of craft or something. But then when he said this on the phone today, I'm like, whoa, this is strange. It just happened last night, and I thought, okay. And then you're talking about California and the eclipse, and thinking, I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's something up there watching for sure.
Could be. I mean, I remember, I guess it was about a year. I think it was the night that I did the interview with Alexis Tyler. I was coming back from. I had a friend with me. I picked her up at the BART station, and we were driving, and she saw it and I saw it too. It was a really large, light, and it looked like it was a planet. Like maybe you could have convinced yourself that it might have been Jupiter, right? But it wasn't because it was flashing the color sequence. And it actually seemed to be moving too. That was the trippy part.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's why I thought it was a plane. And I saw the red. I thought, okay, that's the red light on a big jet or something, but then it looked like there was some green and blue too. And I couldn't stand there and look at it for hours. So unfortunately, I couldn't. I didn't go back to it. I just made light of it and. That was it. But it just was interesting. And then he mentioned that today. So anyway, just wanted to call in and just share that for what it's worth.
Well, thank you. I mean, I would count interesting synchronicity. We always enjoy stuff like that. So, Teresa, I have a quick question to ask you. So you've got this lovely tribe of girls, aka your daughters. Do they have any idea about what you're about? And do you talk to them about any of this stuff?
No, not really. Unfortunately, they listen to other people in the household, if you know what I mean, that are totally, the antithesis of what I'm about, unfortunately. Right. So I get that kind of stuff going on, and but I try to keep positive, and I mention things to them now and then, and sometimes it makes sense to them, sometimes it doesn't, and I think they all have a spark of me, of course, inside them, so they half of them knows certain things that I know what I'm trying to say. I know it's in them, and it'll come out with age. My oldest is 19. She's just starting to really come around, and then I have the next in line is 16. Right. And I see she's got a lot of Scorpio energy and the Sag, and she's an amazing artist. I mean, she doesn't. Oh my gosh. I think she's channeling that because she just last night showed me a snowboard. She goes snowboarding all the time. She's real athletic. And Leo rising, and I think a lot of her Sag is in the 5th house of Leo. Yeah. So, I see that maybe, I didn't before, but all of a sudden I'm seeing, okay, artist, yeah, this is really coming out now because she just drew her own design on the snowboard, just cool. Amazing design, like an Ed Hardy almost, but her own style, and it was really, really unbelievable. I thought, why don't you do this more often,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, but that kind of thing, they all have their own. They have a lot of artistic ability. The next one, who's going to be 13 on Christmas, she's real artistic too, and she's real spiritual. She's got the Pisces moon, and and I think she was born with Jupiter in Pisces. Anyway, so yeah, I see a lot of that. A lot of same qualities I may have are in them, But anyway,
I gotta say, you live a very interesting existence.
I mean, do?
It's like you've got a not so secret life. I think it's utterly fascinating how you have put yourself out there on the internet, and
I'm brave.
You are brave.
Aries moon, warrior moon. I sometimes I feel invincible. Like I don't really care if something happens. That's a terrible attitude because I have children, but I feel like, well, I'm coming up on 50 already, and I guess, I don't know, life is short, and you got to do what you got to do, and just things are risky, so what, That's kind of the attitude I have. But I almost called in and talked to George just at the end, but then I chickened out. I don't know. I had emailed him a long time ago when I saw one of his Google videos. I can't remember what the email was about. This was like 3 years ago. But I'm sure it was something interesting, and I almost wanted to talk to him real quick about just certain things he was talking about. And because when he was talking about, he talked about everything. You asked some great questions, and so he was, all over talking about a lot of things. And anyway, I was going to mention something that I had seen like a vision a long, long time ago, and if it has any relevance to what's going on today, because I never quite understood it. But it was, to me, what I was getting at the time was very, very much in the future. And